This is ridiculous. YouTube wants you to make shorts like TikTok does. And yet I made one and it's public on our half-acre homestead. It's only 15 seconds long and it shows you me making goulash just with my garden medley vegetables. And they let me select music from within the library. And when I posted it, they said, no, you can't monetize this because you use music from within YouTube. Well, like, didn't you just friggin' supply it? So anyway, give me a second. I got to call Papa. Be right with you guys.
What?
Hello? Did you get my text? What's the matter? Okay, please don't take it out on me if you've had a shitty day. Okay? What's going on? I'm calling on that number because I'm going live in a minute. Well, I am live, but that's why you're not on speaker. Okay. All right. Don't forget to check the mail too, okay? All right. Breathe. Get yourself a coffee. Okay? I love you. Okay. Bye-bye, honey. Why are you calling me on that number? Well, because I'm about to go live. I realized I am live, and that's why you're not on speaker. So hi everybody. How's it going? Let me just pop out and say hi to Autumn Gypsy, Betty Randall, Seashell, Jean, Melody Ray, Sandra Moore, Sherry Leach, and Yoji. How's it going? Let me just pop out the chat here and then put it on live chat. So, I guess Howie's had a shitty day, but chicken legs went on sale starting today at Super C for $1 a pound. And if I drive all the way into Super C, even if I buy 100 pounds, the cost of the gas is going to drive it up to like $1.50 a pound, right? Because our gas right now is $1.41, $1.42 a liter, right? So, hi, Mary Jane Weeds. How's it going? And Patricia, Johnny Carson, Sherry Leach, Seashell. Hello, darling. Aloha. So, I had to make a kind of a decision, you know. I know how he doesn't like stopping at the grocery store, but for God's sakes, guy, you know, not for God's sakes, but for me to take advantage of that sale, Howie's driving right by, literally right by the Super C. And if he's had a crappy day, I'm really sorry, but does he want to eat canned ground pork and salmon all winter and soup, or do you want like chicken twice a week? Right? So I said, please, and I see, if I'd have gone, I'd have picked up 50 pounds, but then I would have had to carry it to the truck, carry it in and out of the truck, right? So I asked him to stop. I said, just get 30 pounds and just get 30 pounds of meat of these chicken legs. And I even phoned the store ahead to make sure that they had it in stock. And I phoned them an hour ago. So $2.89 a gallon. Well, let's do the math. Let's do the math here. Yesterday, when I took Briar to IGA and I went to Giant Tiger, it was $1.41 a liter times 3.76 equals. That's $5.30 a gallon in Canadian dollars. So that's probably about, okay, let's do the backwards math. 5.8 0.80 divided by 1.25. That's 464 US a gallon. 464 US. So I made it what it was like 580 per gallon in Canadian dollars, but in US dollars, that was 464. Nuts, eh? How's it going, Joe? How's it going, honey? Did you get your email? See, that's high, but it's still cheaper than mine. Oh, wow. $2.99 a gallon yesterday. Well, here, if you were paying American for our gas, you'd be paying $4.64 a gallon. I shit you not. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. So I went out in the garden today. There ain't much left but jungle. I still leaving the watermelons because we haven't got frost yet. So I'm just leaving them because you never know, right? Hey, Karen Parsons, Vincent Pellegrino, and Aldo, my love, Betty Randall. Haven't checked email in a week. Well, I just sent you a little booster. Just, hi, how's it going? Hang in there. We are not going to talk about politics or medicine in any way, shape, or form. Sunday's video got taken down for medical misinformation, which is let's just say censorship is alive and well in YouTube. Okay. Hey, boo. Gas here in LA is basically over $4 a gallon. Yeah, it's a lot. Just made some potato soup with chicken and mushrooms. Oh, that sounds delicious. You know what I did? You know what I made for supper? Because I went shopping yesterday and I got a tube meat. It's not a full pound. I got tube meat. And I bought 3 more chickens from Giant Tiger and I vacuum sealed them. Because they don't come in a vacuum sealed bag. So I took them out and vacuum sealed them. And then this sale came on for chicken. And I said to Howie, if you can get 30 pounds of that chicken, it's $30. I said, the last time I tried to buy, how much were those legs the last time I tried to buy them? They were like $4 a pound at the IGA, $2.99 at any other store, a pound. And I would have had to drive into Hull to get those prices. Well, this is $1 a pound. Honey, I mean, it's like back in the day when the kids were small and chicken legs would go on for 59 cents a pound and I would go and I would buy 50 pounds, right? But now that's kind of like I would have done 50 pounds, but I felt bad for them and said, okay, just get 30. And I phoned the store ahead and made sure they have some. So I think we have matching haircuts today. Oh, so does Howie and I. Howie's hair looks just like mine, except his isn't purple. And I still have to trim mine up, but his is, I did an oops, kind of like I did with this on the sides. And he goes, oh, you didn't. I said, what's the difference between a good haircut and a bad haircut? And he started laughing. He said, 2 weeks. I said, you got 2 weeks to make it good. But actually, when I was done, it looked really good. Because I could do more, but the clippers I bought at the drugstore are absolute garbage. It's like trying to mow grass with a comb. It's really bad. I'm pulling my tomato plants tonight. I have enough for fried green tomatoes this weekend. I might have to try that. Hey, Debbie Caputo, how's it going? Because I got some green tomatoes left, but then I might make some relish too. I have a few little peppers in the garden. And so I might make some green tomato relish because all my zucchini. So tonight's supper was a 15-minute YouTube short. It's tube meat browned in the crock pot. I crushed in 3 cloves of garlic and I poured, once it was all browned up, I poured a jar of my garden vegetable medley over it. And then I just cooked 2 cups, I'd say. 1.5 cups, half cooked. Not al dente, half cooked pasta. And I just threw that in. Goulash. I fried green tomatoes. Well, see, I'm not too sure about that. It's just, green tomatoes to me go into relish or pickles or stuff, right? Hey, revolution! You say you want a revolution. I've had a lot of people question my sanity lately over politics. And all I'm going to say is I voted the way I wanted to vote so I could shake shit up. That's all. Everything needs to be shooken up. Um, yeah, well, goulash and growing up was ground beef, a green pepper and an onion chopped in, and canned tomatoes, and then a lot of pasta to make it stretch. I go the other way. I got my garden medley vegetable in there, and I've got ground beef, and then I only added so much pasta because I don't want a lot of pasta. So, I mean, that means Howie and I get a 3/4 of a cup of cooked pasta each, but the rest is all veg and meat, right? Hey, Doris, how are you, darling? I'll be cleaning the tomato plants tomorrow. Well, I just went out and chopped down all my celery. And instead of, oh my God, the messes I was making, instead of just chopping the roots off and bringing them in and then cutting off the leaves and da 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 da, it's getting woody because it should have been harvested weeks ago, right? But I've been harvesting it as I needed it. So what I did was I went out. There's going to be a video, and I just pulled them out. Couldn't show you because I was doing it with my phone, but just pulled them up and I just chopped the bottoms right off, and I flipped it over and I chopped the tops off, and then I threw them over into a bin. And then I sat down on the bench, and then I went through them, and anything that had been bug chewed would be woody, so I just threw it. And anything that was good, I just chopped the top and bottom off and threw it in a bucket. Now I brought in a bucket. Well, you saw the picture, right? So it's now standing in a stock pot of water, all cut and ready, not cut up. I'm not making that mistake twice. It's just standing in a stock pot of cold water until tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll chop it all up and blanch it and can it. We're doing simple tonight, but it's good. We're having tater tot casserole. Oh God, I'd love tater tot casserole just by the sound of it. But I mean, Howie's doctor would probably kill us. But so last night we had hot dogs because Howie had 4 juicy jumbos left over from the weekend, so I wanted to use them up. So we had hot dogs. He had 3, I had 1. And the night before we had the chicken and the dress up a box of mac and cheese with broccoli and stuff. So, hey, Yvette from Saskatoon, how's it going out there? I just grabbed like 5 more tomatoes. They're still going. And I think it's because my tomato plants are close to the house, so they're really not going to get damaged unless there's a hard frost, I feel so much better today, says Autumn Gypsy. I've been able to get corn canned and pork in now. Well, that's the last of the meat in the freezer that I have to can, is the last of the meat in the big freezer. And then the only thing in it would be the box of flour. It can come out and sit on top of the little freezer, and I'll just thaw out the meat and slice it up and just, raw pack it and can it. And that way, because that's last year's meat, it's over 6 months old, right? So, but my little freezer with all the new meat, I've got like 5 or 6 vacuum sealed chickens in there, and legs and broccoli and bread. It's that little cube freezer's getting really packed. Oh, tube meat? Tube meat is hamburger that comes in a plastic tube. I call it tube meat because I can't, in good conscience, call it anything else. I don't even like to call ground beef if you buy it at the store, right? Like as soon as I can, well, probably tomorrow, because we're not doing I'm not sure if I'm going to make it to Costco before cold and flu season shuts everything down, right? Was I self-taught? 99 cents a pound for raw pork shoulder. That's cool. I was sort of self-taught. because my mother died when I was really young and all my aunts were long distance. So canning never entered my brain. I'm self-taught in just about everything I do. But when I when we first were married, we lived in a rental house before we bought our first house. And my landlord, it was in farm country, and my landlord had a farm, and we lived on a like a 1.5 acre piece of that farm in the original house, and they had built a brand new one and everything. And so I went up to visit his wife, Cindy, one day, and I was helping her pick beans. And she says, I said, what's going on? She said, I'm canning beans. I said, because I knew all about boil bath canning by then, but pressure canning, I had no idea. I said, how do you can beans safely? She said, with a pressure canner. I said, really? And she says, come over tomorrow and I'll show you. And she did. Beans. That's why when I can beans, it's almost a nostalgia for me. So she taught me how to can beans, and then I went out and bought it used to be, they're Presto now, but when they were first came out, the ones I call that are Presto now were Wherevers. They were called Wherever, and then they became Miro, and then they became Presto. Mindy, hi, darling. Having leftover baked chicken, roasted tomatoes, and broccoli with cheese sauce. Well, Howie's a little pissed that he's had a shitty day and he doesn't want to stop at the store. But I said to him, I don't know what I said to him, but basically, we can live on the meat that we've got in the freezer. But in all honesty, darling, you're going to be eating a lot of canned ground pork and roast chicken, chicken casserole, chicken in your lunch, and chicken soup. Because every one of those 5 or 6 little chickens I bought and vacuum sealed, I'll make them stretch a week and a half if I have to. I love canning beans. Add Fiesta Ranch seasoning, and it's incredible. Oh, I don't need to. We eat pretty simply. And 9 times out of 10, when you add something like that, there's added chemicals that I just don't want. You know what I mean? Parking at campus. I'm dragging my brother to a meeting nearby. A meeting for what? Oh, never mind. I don't need to ask. I don't need to know. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm canning celery. I'm finally getting my kitchen a little more, like I've only got, oh God. Then Saturday, I'm going out and getting a bag of carrots. We were given 6 home-raised chickens. So thankful. Oh, wow. Awesome. We'll start canning from the freezer in 3 weeks or so. Now I've got chicken in there and ham. Well, see, that's what I mean. My little freezer is full. It's full. And Howie's about to come home with 30 pounds of chicken, right? So I'll be canning celery tomorrow and probably canning meat on Saturday so that the freezer can then be defrosted, have the hinges put back on the lid, and I can start filling it up again, right? But it's like, because Howie took the hinges off to clean it last time, he just put the lid back on loose. And even though if you hold it tight or put it on, weight it down, it still gets frost. It's not the same as having the hinges holding it properly in place. Turkey's going to be expensive and not plentiful this year. Well, where did I see? At Maxi? It was either Maxi or No Frills or Food Basics or Freshco. It's one of those. Those are my Maxi, Food Basics, Freshco, and Super C. Are the grocery stores I actually frequent if I go into the city, right? How does one can chicken legs? I assume you debone it. You don't have to. If you don't want a lot of fat, you take the skin off. But you just raw pack them, bone in, and check the timings, because you don't can it as if you would can whole raw chicken, because the bone is hollow, and so you actually can it for less time. Don't quote me, but you better look it up. Yeah, bone in. Absolutely. If you want to just take the skin off, just can them bone in. But the thing is I if I get 30 pounds of chicken, okay, that's going to be $30. So I bet you dollars to donuts, I get probably 60 legs, right? Maybe 40 to 60 legs. That's 20 suppers, right? Like I said to Howie, the last time I saw chicken leg quarters, they were $2.99 a pound at the cheap store and four something at IGA. So get her done. Sorry you're having a bad day, but this is, it's not going to save us any money if I have to drive into Hull and he has to just drive right by it, right? More nutrition with bone in because you're getting you're getting the minerals from the bone. You're getting the glucosamine kind of thing from the cartilage, and you're getting iron from the bone marrow. My mom, I used to chew chicken bones until they were just a little pile of, I'd chew my dad would say, "You're an animal." And my mom would say, "Leave her alone. She needs the minerals. She needs it or she wouldn't be just gnawing at it like that." My, I used to eat the heads off of matches and everyone, burnt and fresh. And everyone thought I was nuts. And my mother said, no, she wants the sulfur for some reason. She must be coming down with something. See, my mom died when I was really young, but my grandmother was, my mom was born in 1929. And she was the second youngest out of 13 kids. So my grandmother was born in the 1800s. Okay, my mom's mom was born in the 1800s. I never met her, but I mean, she could apparently brew you just about anything. That's where my Uncle Joe got it yet. That's where I get it, is it's been passed down through aunts and uncles and stuff. The legs and thighs are the tastiest from the chicken. Now, of course. But raw packing breasts is good for Howie's lunches. You know what I mean? Love you, Bev. Joe Mama. Bye, Shelly. Shelly, where's Shelly? I didn't see no Shelly. That's why I love hearing you read Little House books. You feel connected to it personally. I do. Right? I mean, you think about it. Think about the generational gap between me and my grandmother. I see people, it amazes me. My cousin Angie, is Angie here? My cousin Angie is younger than me, and she has 7 grandchildren. 7 grandchildren. I have none. But Angie is actually, I'm the same generation. I was talking about this with her brother Robert today. She's the same generation. I'm the same generation as her father in the bloodlines, right? So my mother was the second last child. So my grandmother was in her 40s or late 30s, early 40s. And I'm the youngest out of 5. So if I was born in 1964 and my grandmother was probably born in 1880s, probably around the same. My grandmother would be the same age roughly as Grace Ingalls. So it just kind of blows your mind because I'm the youngest child out of 5 from a woman who was the second youngest out of 13. So it's it really blows the age gap apart, right? Hey, Cal, how's it going, sweetheart? Ahmad, how are you, darling? So, I got some new cards I'm going to show you in a minute. I debuted them on Patreon. I got 2 new sets of cards. I debuted them on Patreon last night. And the wildest thing happened. Somebody asked, excuse me. No, it's not the C. It's the CAN. It's not the COV, it's the CAN. Cannabis. I don't see why not. 3 or 4 legs in a quart. I mean, you just shove it in there until, you just shove it in there. The bones actually make hollow spaces for the meat to cook faster. So you just shove it in, but just make sure that you have clearance of 1 inch between like the bottom lip of the jar rings where the ring sits on, not the insert the ring, like give it 1 inch. Okay. And then, half a teaspoon of salt and Bob's your uncle, right? Counting the days till I go in a van to my new boat. Yay! Yeah, that was wild. I gotta tell you the story. So this is a new set of cards, and the Soul's Journey is a new set of cards. And I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 6 decks laid out here, and we were pulling, right? And someone said, well, give me one from the new deck, because that's the one you haven't used yet. And decks, you got to get I cleansed them, but they haven't been charged yet. And more importantly, they haven't necessarily been charged with my energy. See, nobody touches my decks unless I invite them to, like to cut or something, right? So I pulled up this new deck and I just went chick chick to shuffle, and a card went bing out of the thing, and I could not find it. Ask Seashell. I spent half my live Patreon stream yesterday looking for that darn card, and I said to them also, when it turns up, and it'll turn up because apparently the person who asked for the message wasn't meant to get that card. That card was for me alone, right? And I said, I won't use this deck again until that card turns up, but the card will turn up when I need to see the message. I wasn't 5 minutes off of the live stream, and I'm pulling my garbage apart, right? I'm pulling apart my waste paper basket. I'm pulling out, cupboards and all kinds of stuff. I open my drawer to put my journal away, and it's in the drawer, flush up against the front of the drawer, so you couldn't even see it. And it was under cords, electrical cords and stuff. I have no idea how that got in there. None. Because my drawer is always closed. So, but the card was for me. It was a pretty powerful card too. So, hey, Rosie Slade, how's it going? 22-foot cruiser. Are you going to live on it, Cal? So, oh, yeah, it was weird. It was weird. So, hey, Donald, how's it going? So, in the spirit of that, now that these cards have given me the message that same friggin' card. After I put it back in the deck, I shuffled it, and it just fell out again. So, getting ready for your pop-up on Saturday. What are you selling this week, honey? I'm going to... Can you see me okay? Okay, I'm going to cleanse these cards. Oh, my cousin Robert phoned me when we were talking, and he goes, so... You're looking pretty butch tight there, Aunt Bev. He calls me Aunt Bev, even though he's my first cousin once removed, and it's a title of respect that I hold very dear. But I said, no. I said, when I went to cut my braids, I said, it's pretty much a political statement. I said, but when I went to cut my braids off, I sent pictures to Howie, one of me holding the scissors to my braids, and then holding up the clippers and the purple dye. And I said, and he came back and said, you buzzing your head? I said, yeah. And he goes, just so long as you're not jumping ditches, eh? Not jumping ditches, switching sides. So I said, no, no, no. Old English cottage with a hint of hippie. Oh, it sounds amazing. So listen, guys. I'm going to pull a couple of complimentary cards from my new deck. And so it will be for anybody who needs to hear it. But first, let's do some cleansing. Definitely cleansing these cards again. Woo! Because, and myself, sacred smoke, cleanse me so that I may hear clearer and deliver a better message. You can burn mullein leaves and white sage and take a few puffs as a medicinal decongestant. All right. Prickly pear jelly, peach jelly, mango jelly, cotton candy grape jelly. Wow. Cotton candy grapes. Ooh, I don't even dare try them. You know why? Because I'm afraid I'll get addicted. Raspberry jelly, mandarin jelly, cranberry jelly, and blueberry jelly. Wow, I've still got to make my blueberry blackcurrant jelly, but that's still going to be put off because of this weekend. I'll be going out and getting the carrots, and I'll be dehydrating a bunch of carrots, and then, well, maybe not. Maybe I'll wait till the frost because that'll sweeten my rutabagas. How purple Canada will be, Bev. Well, I'm not so sure that this is I'm not so sure if that's a question. Oh, well, maybe it is, because this just flipped out. Baby steps. Action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Baby steps. So that was your answer. But short season for them, and they're expensive. I know there was a little tub about that big. Like it would be just one serving for me of grapes, right? It was like 5 something. It's like, no, I ain't doing that. I'd pay $5. I'm going to get a bag of grapes, and that's going to do me 3 nights for snacks, right? So this will be a general reading. Don't know who wants to hear it and who needs to hear this, but we'll see what's going on. Whoa, no, that won't work. That's way too many. And you know what? I haven't properly shuffled these either. So, these are Starseed Oracle cards. So we're kind of putting the general for whoever needs to hear something. So let's just get a message out here. Whoa! Did you see that? That's one. And yeah, that's the only one that flipped. Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, that's the only one that flipped. Okay. The blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Now, some people are going to understand what I'm going to say, and some people won't, and that's okay, because remember us talking about everybody on the planet having a job that we were born to accomplish throughout life. And it doesn't matter. We've come into this world. We came into this body. Because remember, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And once this sleeve is gone, I will move on from here, right? My job while I'm here is to fulfill the contracts that I came into this body to do. And to raise awareness for myself as much as possible. Work my way towards enlightenment, right? So the blue flame is spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. Now, what this is telling me is all of you that are awake, okay, you may be awake, But all of you that are awakened, you need to get busy. It is time. It is time to get the work done. It is time to raise your vibration. It's time to move from the third into the fifth dimension. And you can't do that dragging the sludge from the third dimension with you. So for all the awakened out there who, I don't know who needs to hear this, it's time to pull your spirit body through the eye of a darning needle, scrape off everything that is not useful, lighten your soul, because the ascension time is coming. Sounds amazing. Cotton candy, grape jelly. I know. Oh, shoot. You're planting more peas. Well, you're in Ohio, right? Or are you in Oregon? Doris, I know you moved. So I don't know who needed to hear that, but that's where things are going. It's like talking to my cousin Robert. It was wonderful. It was really wonderful because hey, Chaos, how's it going? Talking to him was really wonderful. Oh, and for all of you who are not on my TikTok, there is going to be a live stream on my TikTok channel, 10:22 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's also 2:22 Universal Time. I'm going to be just live streaming, and we're going to do nothing but we're going to meditate. We're going to talk about peace. We're going to envision the world the way it's supposed to be. We're going to do cards. We're just going to accentuate the positive and put positive energy out to the world. So you are welcome to join us. My TikTok is Mrs. Wolfie, right? So that's because the reason I'm doing it is because other mediums, empaths, starseeds, light workers, whatever you want to call the awakened, and everybody has their own, I don't have a label, all right? But everybody that has awakened and has any kind of empathic ability towards the higher vibrations, they're all getting in on this kind of not mass meditation, live meditation. We're all doing it at the same time. Hey, I am behind, but just going to see what I can get. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Like I said, I pulled up all my celery today, and I just threw all the leaves and everything back in the boxes because you know me, I top those boxes up every year with more dirt, right? And I'm leaving my watermelons till frost. And all I have left is parsnips and rutabagas, and they actually are sweeter if you leave them in the ground for a frost. No, cloud's right there. Cloud's right there. I'm going to be working on the studio this weekend. I'm going to be canning. Tomorrow on Saturday, I'm doing the meditation in the morning, and then in the afternoon, I'll probably be working downstairs on the studio. And I have Howard to help me when I need to lift stuff and move stuff that's heavy. And then Sunday, we have the live stream here. So yeah, Mrs. Wolfie on TikTok. Yep. Hey, Corey C, how's it going? So I'm throwing cards all over the place. So let's do another general reading. Now, this isn't what I'm always going to do, but this is where I'm going now. These are just a tool, okay? These are like flashcards that somebody else made, but they also point me in the right direction of what I need to pull out of them, right? Thank you, Bev, for everything. I got to go get stuff done. Take care, honey. Or can I leave it out and it come back in the spring? Mint is very invasive. Is it in a pot? You may want to just take the pot and bury it up to the rim. And that will help protect the mint from frost, but it will also protect it from invading the rest of your garden. And then in the spring, you just pull it out and put it in stuff. But mint's invasive. It's kind of like oregano. That's why I planted my oregano in the pot. Take care, Doris. Mwah. Yes or no, what, Kel? Did you ask a question, Kel? Found my new roof damaged again this storm. Oh, wow. Oh, okay, so just see if you can bury it or something to protect it from being killed, because if it's in the ground, it has insulation from the rest of the ground. If it's just in a pot, it may not fare so well, but if you want to keep it for next year, just bury the pot or bury it in an isolated place where you don't mind if it takes over. So, you want a yes or no question, Kel Storm? Is that what you're saying? No, I just need a yes or no to what I'm asking. Oh, it's boat engine related. You mean you want me to pull a card, Kel? Because I don't know dick about boat engines. You know what I mean? You can leave it out, just cover it when weather hits below 30, below 0 to protect it from frost. Oh, okay. That works. Maybe, you know, turn a tub over it or something. All right. Okay. Kel Storm wants to know something about the engine of what's your pronoun, Kel? I never assume anymore. Hey, Karen, how's it going? Whoa, here we go. You got 2. Not that one. You got 2. Okay, Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. You know what that means? I'm thinking you should start getting to know your boat engine really intimately. Build a relationship with your boat engine. That's what I'm hearing. Inner Earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. It's not 3 months old from October. Oh, your roof, you mean? What's the Patreon name I can find Bev reading cards with her wig? I don't always do it with the wigs on. I don't always do it, but I was in full rig for Freaky Friday. Took the wig off, though. But I will be doing that probably once a week. And there it is. Seashell surf. But right now, until my studio is done, I won't be doing a whole lot of that. Right now, it's just patrons live streaming on Monday and Wednesday so that we can just talk about the stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about publicly. And whatever, you know, we'll pull cards and we'll talk and then Freaky Friday is Freaky Friday. We dance and, you know, listen to music and talk and, you know, just kind of refresh our souls. Did that make sense? Because you just said boat engine, and so I went with that. And apparently that's right. It would have meant something completely different. Why I can't chat on Patreon only when it is public? Is there something I need to add? I don't know, sweetheart. I don't know. All I can do is when we go to do Patreon, I can give you the unlisted link in Facebook Messenger. That may make a difference. But I have no idea why it's not working for you. Maybe you need the YouTube app on your phone. Wow. That one just flipped out. Oh, this one again. So somebody who this was for the first time didn't listen because I just pulled it again. And this is a 53 card deck. Baby steps. Action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Because if you wait till it makes sense, then you will always be second guessing yourself. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. Baby steps. I don't know why that came out again. Oh, that might be Howard. Hang on a second. Yes, it is. Hello, honey. What's up? I phoned them an hour ago. Well, did you ask them? Then you go and you ask the butcher because they've got more out back. They're not filling it because it's getting closer to the end of the day. No, see what I mean? 220 fucking nine. Sorry, folks. 229 a pound. Right. I should have went at 8 o'clock this morning. I should have. Well, the thing is, this this is the first day of the sale. That's why I thought it could wait. And I didn't think it would be economical for me to drive all the way into Hull at $1.41 a liter for gas. Then my chicken legs would have been $1.50 a pound. Whereas you going by. Well, ask the butcher where the dollar chicken is, and you say and you just go to the double doors. You go to the double doors by the bathroom. And you tell them that my wife just phoned and you said you had plenty of chicken. Where is it? And if you have to, give them the phone and I'll talk to them. Because, I said, I don't want my husband. I explained. I said, I want to make sure you have lots of that dollar sale chicken because I'm asking my husband to stop on his way home from work. I said, oh, yeah, we got plenty. That was at 4:30, Howie. I wouldn't have taken the whole bin. I'm not rude. I would have left some. Anyway, ask. Well, there should be a bell. Stick your head through the door and yell, hello. All right, bye. He really has not learned how, he really has not learned survival mode yet. So the learning bit makes perfect. Okay, what did I miss? Yes, it made sense. I was asking yes or no for an electric outboard over diesel. I know zip about electric engines. There you go. Hey, Skippy Jones. Whoa. Okay. Perspective. I don't know who needs to hear this, but this says perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out and common ground. Now, remember how we were talking about breaking down walls? The walls of the patriarchal society that we've been at since the caveman days? None of this really matters. Yes, we're here and we have to function in this social structure, but it doesn't mean if we zoom out and look at it, it doesn't mean they're pulling the wool over our eyes, right? You got to find the common ground between acceptance and tyranny. Well, Bev, I be there. Just play the I Got High song for me. I hate that song. I really do. Is it because you want to see me go all prim and proper? Because that's what that song does to me. Melody. I have the same problem. If she doesn't post the private link in Messenger, I don't get into chat. Okay, listen. Send me a message through Messenger. Tell me you're a patron because I don't have everybody's name memorized. Tell me you're a patron and be a patron if you're a patron. Tell me you're a patron and I will kind of bookmark those names and I will make sure that on Freaky Friday you will get your link of the unlisted video in Messenger. You won't have to do it through Patreon because some people have problems with that. So what did I miss, Joe Mama? So, I mean, Howie hasn't gotten to the point where it's like, I would be like, do you remember the last time the roast that was on sale? It's like, then they brought me out this $30 roast. I would be, hey, I just because I phoned them at 4:30. All right. By the time I would have got there, if I had gone, it would have been 5:30, right? And you're going to tell me that meat's all gone when I just phoned and said, if I'm making, because I said to them, I don't want to drive all the way from Low to Hull just to find it all sold out. Do you have plenty? And they said, yes. And I phoned the store directly. So if I'd have got there and it was empty, I would have walked right to the back to the butcher counter and said, somebody tell me where the rest of the chicken is. Because I didn't drive all here for nothing. You're welcome, sweet. Okay, I don't need to know who needs to hear this. Cracked open. Rock bottom. Surrender to the alchemy of life. That ain't for me. I ain't surrendering to certain stuff. Surrender to the alchemy of life. See, my cousin Robert and I were talking, and I was talking about where my spiritual path is taking me. And he said, wow, Aunt Bev, you just sound like you're in the Matrix there. And I said, well, yeah, kind of. And I said, do you know? I said, I never understood what those movies meant. I was always confused. He said, really? I said, yeah, but then I watched them a couple of weeks ago. And he said, and I went, oh. He said, Aunt Bev, you got to get out of the Matrix. We're joking, right? And I said, but I'm not in the Matrix. I'm only here until my contracts are done, right? My contracts that I came into this body, and the spirit that came into this body came to fulfill. I got to fulfill those contracts or I end up coming back, and I ain't coming back. So I know. It's wild. I know you can hardly, there's so many people like, who are you? What did you do with Mrs. Wolfe? But this is all of me. All of me. Why not have all of me? A new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. That has biblical reference as well. So we're not going to get into it though, because I don't need, extremist Christians coming in going, la, 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 la. Right? You said Jesus wasn't, la, 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 la. It's okay. I've been watching Blow Them Up hero movies to escape. That works. I've been watching, it's on, although season 4, I don't know what it is about shows I like, and season 4. When it gets to season 4, things get weird. And then you go on to season 5 normally and everything's fine again. But I've been watching Blind Spot. The chick who comes out of the bag covered in tattoos, and the FBI investigates all her tattoos. Yes, Chaos. I found my missing card. And it was in a weird place. It was in my drawer, as if the drawer had been opened and it just fell in, but it slid right down the front of the drawer and was up against the front of the drawer. So I didn't see it. Every time I opened the drawer, I didn't see it. But the thing is when I was shuffling those cards, like right now, the drawer was closed. So it was like, nobody needs to get that message except you. All right. Ooh, I don't know who needs to hear this, but karmic relationships. Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Karmic relationships. Now, what karmic relationships, what they mean by that is if you keep doing the same thing over and over again in a relationship, you're going to get the same results. So the whole point in karmic relationships, maybe you've been born in this time to settle something from a past life. But you have to get out of the drag of what that relationship was in the first place. And you have to look at it as something that needs to be healed. That's your job. I don't know who needed to hear that, but karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, okay? Soul growth and conflict. So what it's saying is there's some conflict, and you're going to feel like your world has been shifted on its axis, but it's a time for growth and a time for healing. I don't know who needed to hear that, but that's what I'm getting. Angela, who came to visit? Anybody I know? Yeah, Blind Spot. I'm on season 4, and I just can't handle Kurt Weller as the soft, sensitive guy. He's always freaking crying. What happened to the guy that went? No, we won't do that. And that's it, right? Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, Angie. I haven't looked those up yet. Whoops. I haven't looked those up yet. I had a great visit with Robert, Angela. I had a great visit with Robert on the phone. I mean, we must have talked for an hour and a half. And what's really wild is all the people that seemed in my family that seemed to be reaching out to me are all, for one reason or another, except for maybe, even my cousin Debbie, who's a Jehovah's Witness, we had a wonderful conversation, right? Because we know that there's room, there's always room for love, even despite your differences of opinion. And so I've had people walk out of my life and people come back into my life. And so this kind of conflict, what I must have, maybe these cards are all for me. Rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life, or whatever, right? But your friend Sherry from down the road. Oh, did you have a nice visit? So did you send me those things, Angie? Those planetary things? Because I'd be really interested in that. I just haven't had time. I went out to the garden and I picked all the celery, started supper, tidied up my kitchen, then I sat down to medicate, and I noticed that your brother had called on Messenger and he didn't have my phone number, so I messaged my phone number and we got talking, and holy crap, this just keeps coming out. Cracked open. Rock bottom. Surrender to the alchemy of life. Who's not getting this? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not the one getting the message. Maybe I'm the one not getting the message. Hey, Steven, darling, how are you? I need to call you? Okay. I will call you right after the live. Okay, sweetheart? Or do you want me to call you right now? Like, do you want my never mind. I'll call you after the live. Is it like, what's going on, baby? I guess that's why you need me to call you. Uh-oh. Somebody's here to visit. Okay, sweetheart. Right now or when you call me? Come here. What? No. You heard me talking to Daddy, and he's far from close to home. What is going on with your ears, Gracie? That's nasty. Uh-oh. Do you want a treat? Here. Ooh. What's that? You can't even see her. You want another one? Oh, big stretch. That's the last one. All right, go sit in my chair and wait for Daddy. Go sit in my chair. Go watch out the window for Daddy. And that's exactly what she'll do. She'll go sit in my chair and she'll watch out the window for Howard. Now please. Okay, you need a reading. I'm being tested as we speak. Do you remember the last reading? No, honey, I don't retain readings that aren't for me. Okay, so what's going on with Stephen being tested? Whoa, Scheisenheimer. Three cards came out. I think it's three. Yes, it's three. And this is the order. Okay. Star bathing. Light body, crystal grid, transmission, activation. I have no idea what that means. All I know is what it means is you need to be charging your light core. Filter everything through love, right? Don't open your mouth unless you can filter what you're going to say through love. Crystal grid, transmission, activation. Not sure what that means, but maybe you do. Next one is big picture thinking. Pleiades, energy, visionary, inspired ideas. So, big picture thinking. This is starting to make sense because this means you need to activate your core, the core of who you are, because you need to put on your big boy panties or big boy pants big boy pants because, and think outside the box. Okay. And when you do that, you accomplish a double mission. Lightworker starseeds serve the world by being you. I hope that made sense to you, Stephen. I don't remember the last reading at all. Like I said, I don't retain them. So, but anyway, it's been an hour. Oh yeah, she's a peanut. I call her the kidney bean. Be careful or she'll be in here wanting treats for dancing the kidney bean. And remember, folks, also, these cards are new, so they have yet to, I have yet to imprint on them as much. So I'm going to put them away in their weird, fancy box that I hate because it's a pain in the butt to get everything in and closed. Hey, Martina, how's it going, sweetheart? Did you get it? Did it make sense to you? Because I'm not sure it made any sense to me. But it did, but like I said, the cards are new, so I'm not imprinted on them yet, or they're not imprinted on me yet. So anyway, I have made goulash for supper. I browned up some ground beef, threw in 3 cloves of garlic, cut up, and I dumped in a jar of my garden medley. And then just about an hour ago, I threw in a cup and a half of partially cooked pasta. So that's supper. Hi, Edie. We're just getting ready to close, you guys. We are doing well. We are doing well. Okay. I feel, Stephen, I feel backstabbing, but but it's kind of, it's painful, but it's painful. But what it is going to clarify the situation, and you're going to know exactly what you have to do. Does that make sense? It is a nice dinner, you know. So Howie was in a really grouchy mood when I phoned him to remind him, and then he gets to the store and the chicken cooler for the $1 a pound is empty. Right? They must only put out so much for the day so that they can keep people coming in for the sale. Right? But like I said, if that was me, I would have went, hey, like I did it the last time. Where's the stuff that's on sale? Because I just phoned an hour ago. That would have been me. I just phoned an hour ago and I told you it would take me an hour to get there and you said you'd have it. So air traffic is still crazy here because of 911, of 9/11. Why would air traffic be crazy? I don't understand. I'm not an American, so I know that 9/11, what happened in 9/11, um, just needed clarification. That's all. Okay. Okay. So did what I say make sense after the fact? Because that's what's coming out really powerful. But then I could be totally wrong too. So anyway, folks, it is time. It is time for us. I'm 2 air miles away from Flight 93. Oh, so there would be people coming in and, memorials and stuff, right? Okay. Oh, now is time. Now is time to say good night. For all those who want to stay for the spiritual push of light, and this is the kind of thing we're going to be doing on and off and on through the live meditation time. Okay, we're going to talk and stuff, but there's going to be, a lot of pushing of light out to the world. But right now, this is non-denominational. Okay, you do your faith, I'll do mine. Let's not put the walls of beliefs between us, but share the commonalities of our faith while we link hearts, because remember, faith is a personal thing. And the more personal it is, the better your contact with God is, right? So you do you, and I'll do me, and we'll all be able to spread some love and some light, right? Take care, Cal. Take care. And for all those who don't want to stay, no judgment. Absolutely. Not everybody's comfortable. Not everybody's comfortable with it. And that's okay. We all have our jobs to do in this world. So for all those who care to, please take a nice deep breath. Now remember, take a deep breath like you're smelling the most beautiful flower you've ever smelled in your life and you can't get enough. And then pause and then blow it out in a slow, controlled breath as if you're blowing out 100 birthday candles. Okay? All right. Hey, Creator, source of all. How's it going, God? Thank you, God, first off, for putting the people and the family members in my way that let me be me without judgment. It's a really special thing, and it's really important to me, and those people are very, very dear to me. Like all my YouTube family are very dear to me. We come before you, God, to lift up the people that are having a hard time finding their light or their energy or their family or their support system, right? There's a lot of people that are going through stuff, God, and I don't need to list it all because you're aware of it all, right? But we want to lift these people up to you, God. For those that need the energy, give them just give them enough to give them what they need to get through if that's all you can do. Okay? Give them rest. Give them peace. We all just need to come closer to you, God, in these perilous, weird times. But God, what we do when we come together, at the end of this, we link hearts and we link hands across the internet and across the world. And we ask you, God, when we do that, we become a closed circuit and we can amplify your love, God. If you will just use us to amplify your love. Please pour down the light of your love, your divine light, and flood our bodies and our hearts and our souls with it, and let it shoot out our hands to the person next to us until we become to rotate. The light rotates and it rotates and it builds and it builds and it builds until we can no longer contain it. And we push that light out from our hearts and our sternums. And it's like It's like the best flare guns in the world that light up the darkness and send the darkness scurrying back and give shelter to those that are struggling. We will hold this light, God, that you have so graciously given us until we all meet again. Thank you, God. Thank you for trusting us with your light. Amen. Shalom. Mary part. Miigwech. Blessed be. Peace be with you, whatever your salutation is. Know that when we come together and we link hearts and we link hands and we ask for God's help, he's always here. Take care. God bless. And remember, Mrs. Wolfe at TikTok, 10:22 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Saturday morning, for some just spiritual meditation and imagery work and love and light. There's a lot of things going around. There's a lot of rallies and stuff going all over the world on the 18th. We got to do what we can, right? To spread peace and light and love. Don't think your help always makes a difference, right? Just because we're not in the middle of the rally doesn't mean we can't pray for peace and resolution. Take care. God bless. I love you guys. Don't ever forget that. Bye-bye.